Hey everybody, and welcome to our early comics review video. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flex Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that are releasing this week to your local comic book store. So, if you want to head on over to infinityflex.net, or if you shop with us at the store or at your own store, we're here to inform you a little bit better about what is coming out and what you can expect, and maybe what you didn't know, wasn't on your radar, and you want to pick up. So, just a reminder, while supplies last, because some of these books are very hot this week. Ow.
Ow, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
push it away.
Should have got it out of the microwave sooner.
I'm sweating. That's weird.
Anyways, so we're going to get right into it, because this is a pretty, it's not number of books big. It's a pretty, comfortable number of books.
Yeah, but there's some big heavy hitters.
Yeah, there's some big swings. So I'm actually going to kick it off with kind of a fun little start. This is Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, the training sessions. This is a hardcover, and I wanted to do this because this is by me. That's right. I control the show, so I control what you see.
You're mad with power. Oh my gosh.
But no, I want to talk about this. It comes out this week. This is really fun. Great all ages Star Wars story featuring the Young Jedi Adventure characters. And this collects 3 stories. 2 of them were the 2024 and 2025 free comic book day book stories. But it starts off with a brand new story, illustrated again by me, all about Wookiees. And it's really, really fun. That's never been printed anywhere else. This is by my friend Dave Scheid, Daniel Jose Older, Dan Jackson on colors, Comicraft, our personal friends Tyler and Richard at Comicraft. So this is fantastic. I had such a blast working on it. And it's only $8.99, so it's really reasonable. This is a great Christmas gift.
Yeah.
And we'll have some here at the store if you want to order them. Hopefully we'll work out something if you want one signed. We'll see about that. But yeah, really, really fun. I hope everyone picks up a copy.
And the physical book looks great too. Like the artwork obviously is great, but like the colors, we were looking through this because this is the first time you had seen a couple of the first story colored.
Yeah.
And the colors in this are very vivid. I would say even more so than the actual free comic book day books when they came out. Like they just pop. It looks great.
Yeah, the paper stock is like a little bit higher than like regular comic paper, so the colors look great. It's just a great form factor. It's a lot of fun. Of course, I hit a couple little fun Easter eggs in there. You'll have to read and see if you can find.
The one you showed me was really funny. I don't know that I would have picked that one out, but I love that it's in there.
So check this out: Young Jedi Adventures, the training sessions from Dark Horse Comics, out this week.
Well, moving on to the second biggest book of the week, and that is Absolute Batman.
Your lies.
Absolute Batman number 15. So this is obviously from Scott Snyder, and the art is by Jock. So they are reteaming once again to bring us this awesome story. Now, this is a one and done story, though it does plant a few seeds for things to come in the future. But it's a one and done story that gives us the backstory of Absolute Joker, basically. Though some of the details are a little bit ambiguous, and I think it would actually be cooler if they stayed that way.
Yeah.
I think it would be cooler if, it's like, we don't ever, some of the things that are in here, we don't ever get confirmation on, so you can kind of, choose what you want to believe. So the entire issue is narrated by Alfred, as he tells Batman what he knows about the Joker, which is quite a lot.
Which we've known since the beginning that's who he's been kind of hunting and tracking. And that's what brought him to Gotham in the first place.
In the first place, right. And, in the first couple issues, his superiors told him to break off of the Joker because they wanted him to focus on the Batman that was in Gotham City. And I still think there's something to come with it. I think, Joker has his fingers in that as well. Like, tell him to get off my back or whatever. But yeah, so Alfred knows a lot about the Joker because he's been tracking him for years. And so Alfred tells Batman the Joker's pretty much entire family history dating all the way back to 1888. I won't tell you too much about it. I won't spoil it for you. But on the surface, it actually doesn't sound so bad. He talks about 5 different generations of the Joker. And we actually get his real name in here. I won't. It's not a spoiler, but I won't tell you that either. But we get 5 generations of this lineage, and they sound pretty philanthropic. They sound like they do a lot of church. they've done a lot of charitable work throughout the years with
Especially
various
with
organizations.
kids and
Yeah.
like orphanages and hospitals and
Yeah.
stuff.
And so Batman gets a little bit frustrated and he's like, where's the smoking gun? None of that sounds bad. Tell me what you really believe. Basically, Batman is saying, it doesn't matter how outlandish it is. Tell me what you believe to be true about the Joker. So Alfred tells the family history again, but this time he adds a few more details that sort of change the entire story. And we also see this in the artwork because there's a couple of double page spreads that we see on his first pass through of the story. And we see those same double page spreads again, but the art is a little bit different. There's a few little details. They're not even really that little details, but it's the same layouts and everything. But some things have changed and it's a lot more sinister. And that's when you start to realize, oh yeah, there's a lot more going on here than it seems. And then Alfred gets to his beliefs about the present day Joker, and that's where things get crazy. And I'm not going to tell you anything about that because I want you to experience that as you're turning the pages. But it's really it's scary. Like this version of Joker is scary.
This is Scott Snyder tapping back into his horror.
Absolutely.
Especially with like talking about the history and stuff of the Joker. I got a lot of feels of American Vampire and the different eras that he touched on in there.
Oh, that's a great comparison because I love American Vampire for that reason, in that it's one big story with characters, but then you'll follow them in like the late 1800s, but then you'll follow their children 50 years later, and then their children, and it's like, and so that's very reminiscent here. That's a great comparison.
I love just the way Batman in this is really trying to get at the core of what makes this guy tick. And we also get so much great Scott Snyder writing of reasons why, we knew going into this, he's called the Joker, but he doesn't laugh, he doesn't smile or whatever. But we really dig into why is it the Joker, but he doesn't laugh or anything. Like, by the end of it, why they've constructed this character, and it's so cool. And really, it plays on familiar elements of the Joker, but also brand new, horrific, kind of add-ons to him. And I really love what they've crafted here because it feels like it's familiar, but I still don't know what they're going with, for the long term. And I do think this is an important building block for this entire series. It's like, hey, we're going to keep coming back to this, issues and issues into the future. This is going to still stand as a very important one.
Yeah, I don't ever want, this is not, there's no action in this. Batman doesn't fight the Joker in this. That's not what this issue is about. But I don't want Batman to ever defeat the Joker like he defeated Bane last issue, because I want this character to always be looming in the background. I love that kind of stuff. I love when villains are just pulling the strings in the background. Like, I love that stuff. Like, I want this character to always be present in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and the last couple of pages of this are really cool. Yeah. And that also it makes me be like, ooh, I want to see that. I want to see what this, what this next thing is. Yeah. So I think this does not disappoint on any of its promises.
No, yeah, for sure. We're not going to see the Joker again in any meaningful capacity for several months. The next story arc involves Poison Ivy, but the next issue is the second of the two-part crossover with Absolute Wonder Woman. Yeah. Then we go into the Poison Ivy thing, and I think is the Joker after that. So it's going to be a few more months before we see him in any big way. He might pop up here and there, but Scott Snyder, said that the Absolute Joker is scarier than Absolute Bane. I get it now. Yeah. I think this version of the Joker is scarier than the main universe Joker because he has all of the, he's just as like maniacal, but in this he's got the resources and he's very calm and calculated. Whereas Joker in the main universe is just like, hey, I'm just gonna chaos and whatever. So so. Amazing issue, one of the best of the run so far, which we say about every issue. But every issue, Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta or Jock, whoever he's working with, managed to top themselves every single month. And this is a phenomenal issue. Everybody needs to read it. So,
Yeah, and Elephant Joker in the room, the cover,
Yeah.
and what you'll see that is explained.
Yeah.
But you'll have to read it to find out all what that means.
Yeah. So amazing issue. I loved it. Highly recommend it to everyone. So there's your A cover. There's some really creepy variants. This is the Jock variant right there. This is the Ben Oliver variant.
I get very like Pennywise with
Yep.
with that cover.
This is the Brian Boland variant. And then we have a Sanford Green 1 in 25 variant that we're selling for $24.99. And we have the 1 in 50 Virgin Jock cover that we're that's the Jock. Yeah, that's the Jock. We're selling that one for $99.99.
Yeah, and I believe right now on the website and in store for a little while we're gonna have one per customer because they've been going really, really fast. So if you want to get yours, want to guarantee you get it, go ahead and order that because it's not gonna last through the week.
Yeah, this will have a bunch of different printings. Absolute Batman #1 is just now going back for a 10th printing.
Yeah,
this one's gonna have
they
a
did
bunch.
Just announced the Absolute Batman annual second printing, which
Yeah.
I think is really exciting because that was another really hard one to get.
Yeah.
So man, they're supporting this book and this series so much, and it's just great to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you said it.
I don't mean to say that. That's just like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, getting into the main DC universe, we've got our first of the KO books this week, our first of the All Fight month for this week, and it is round 2 following up from Superman and Captain Atom. This is Aquaman versus Hawkman. This one is a one-shot.
No. This one's Aquaman #12.
Oh, this is Aquaman number 12, yeah. But they put it... Where did they even put it on the cover? It's there, yeah.
So it's a little bit weird because the Superman versus Captain Atom book from last week and the Wonder Woman versus Lobo book, they are one-shots.
Right.
But this is Aquaman #12, which is part of the ongoing series, but they look the same.
Right.
So, it's a little bit weird the way they did that, but...
So this one is by your team of Jeremy Adams and John Timms. That could also be one of the reasons why they include it is like, oh, if it's using the main creative teams behind it or something. So if you have been reading Aquaman, you'll definitely want to pick this up, of course. If you haven't been reading Aquaman, but you want to read all of the DCKO books, you can do that as well. This fits perfectly in there. There is a little bit that is about what is going on with like Mara and Atlantis and all of that. That may spark your interest if you're not reading Aquaman to read it, but that's right in the beginning. We get through that, and then it's also kind of a setup for how Aquaman gets into this.
Yeah, if you haven't been reading Aquaman, but you do read this, there might be like one page where you think, who are all those characters? But they don't factor into the big battle. So if you want to read it just for this fight, go for it. You can absolutely do that.
Yeah, and I actually think this one's really important, and that's to do with a lot of stuff that's been going on with Aquaman. So this one, I feel like so far is maybe the most all-out fight they've had. At least, the Superman and the Captain Atom one, they had Superman trying to not fight and trying to do all that. This one, I think both of these go into it being like, this is what we're doing. Like, let's go at it. So there's not a whole lot to say, but it is structured like the other fights where it's 3 rounds, and after the first round, then the characters can choose a form, whether from their past or their future, to take on the thing will maybe help them in the next battle. And that is played out here in a really cool way. So there is some recognizable things that you'll see, but this does harken back to almost to the very beginning of this Aquaman series, and Aquaman and what's going on with the Omega Gate that he found under the water and stuff. Aquaman's one to keep your eye on.
Hawkman thinks that he should be able to just mop the floor with Aquaman fairly easily because Hawkman does not know how powerful Aquaman has become. Over the course of this series. Hawkman should have been reading this series as well. He has. So he's pretty surprised when Aquaman is able to just like counter everything that he does and then some.
Yeah. I mean, Aquaman now has his water kinesis that was Mara's, and I feel like this Aquaman has a darkness to him.
Yeah, I mean he's got that connection with the blue now, which makes him almost godlike
Yeah.
in a way.
So I think this one is really cool. I think it's important to what we'll see going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to give away that, you know, we know what characters are even down to the like last couple rounds.
Yeah, we know the Elite Eight. We don't know the Final Four
Yeah.
past that, but
But I think this will play a pretty significant role going forward. This also does have the little bit with the story going on outside of the fight with Booster Gold.
yeah, and the World Forger.
And the World Forger. And after this issue, and then the one you're going to be talking about, that one really heats up as well.
Yeah.
So that is, we like to remind you, that's why you want to read these in the correct order.
Yeah.
Because those are pretty consecutive. Like,
Yeah.
you know, where this one ends, this one picks up right there.
Yeah.
So you'll want to do that. But
yeah, the main event fights are siloed. You can read those in any order, but it's that couple page story of the Dark Side possessed Booster and the World Forger. That one is continuous.
So I don't know what else to say about this. Is there anything you want to add? Because it is really...
It's just a big fight.
It's a really cool fight with, you know, them trying to pull out all these tricks, you know, and there's... What's fun with where characters come back in a different form, for this one and in the one you're going to be talking about, it's fun to be like, oh, that's from this, or that's from this, like we saw with Superman and the different versions, the like Superman, the Millennium Superman or whatever he turned into. So... all that being said, DCKO continues to be awesome with both of these issues, but round 2, Aquaman versus Hawkman, incredible.
Big action, great artwork.
Yes. Twist turns and a final page that I suggested a theory to you, and I don't know if it'll mean anything, and it's one I haven't seen anyone mention, but it feels very like, oh, why didn't I see that before?
Yeah, could be. Could be right.
I don't know, and I'm very excited because Aquaman's my favorite. So this is Aquaman versus Hawkman, which is Aquaman issue 12 for you keeping track. We've got our A cover here. We've got I believe this is Eom cover. I think it's interesting they included Hawkman feathery arm hair.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, he's a bird person. We also have a Gilliam March cover, really nice. We've got a Lucas Meyer cover. I love this homage to Justice League #1, the Jim Lee cover,
the New 52,
New 52 one. Yeah, that's really cool with all the Justice League blue.
Yeah,
we've got a David Tulaski cover as well. The Aquaman just chilling with his dolphin bros. But which is also funny because dolphins will play a little bit of a factor in the next book. Just because Lobo and dolphins.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Well, yeah, let's talk about that book.
Sorry, I actually know about comics, and I know that Lobo is like a priest, and his people are dolphins.
I didn't know that.
You didn't wonder why dolphins showed up in this?
No, I need to catch up on that. Okay, wow. Well, so this is round 3 of the All Fight Month books. I've never read a comic before. This is round 3. So this is DCKO, Wonder Woman versus Lobo. Now, this is a one-shot. This is not part of the current Wonder Woman.
That's the only weird thing about the KO event that I think is structured kind of odd. Is that it's a little hard. It's not like you need to know which ones are which.
Yeah.
But just structure-wise, to be like, well, this one's in this one's by itself.
Yeah, because Superman has his own series, but yet his fight with Captain Atom was a one-shot. Wonder Woman has her own series, but this is on its own. But Aquaman is part of just a regular run. I don't understand that either. But this is a one-shot, so this is not in the middle of Tom King's run of Wonder Woman. This is written by Joelle Jones, and the art is by Jason Howard, Carrie Nord, and Daniel Bayliss. And yeah, this is again, a one-shot issue. And just like all of the other All Fight Month books, this entire issue is these two characters fighting with each other. But this one is not as much of a straightforward fight as the Aquaman book or the Superman Captain Atom before that. This one has a little bit of extra sauce to it. Wonder Woman, in one of the rounds, she doesn't necessarily cheat, but she does kind of find a loophole that gives her a little bit of an advantage over Lobo. Another one of the rounds they fight in isn't just punching each other. There's a lot of like, let's call them mini games. How about that?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out because it's like, okay, this is these are games within a round.
Right. Yeah.
So they can win or lose the little ones in the whole.
Yeah, and then of course there is, but don't get me wrong, there's still a ton of knockdown, drag out, fist fighting as well. But there's just a little bit extra as well. So this one is a little bit unique. The art style in this of from Jason Howard, especially like it's a little bit more stylized, a little bit more cartoony than the other ones, but it still works. It's still a ton of fun. I absolutely love it. So that's not a negative at all. I'm just saying that this one, out of the three we've had so far, this one feels like the most unique, I guess, than the two because of the art, because of what happens during the fight and things like that. Still a ton of fun though.
It's also, going into it, you think like, yeah, Lobo is powerful, but Wonder Woman, it's not. Lobo, I think people forget, is one, like pretty much immortal.
Yeah.
Like that's one of his things. And he's just super strong.
Yeah.
Plus, so it's a pretty even fight.
Yeah. Plus, he's never tried to hold himself back before, so he is well positioned for this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We won't tell you who wins. If for both of these, if you look ahead to future covers of DCKO, you can see who wins. But
it's about the ride.
It's about it's the journey, not the destination. And of course, this has another couple pages of the World Forger and the Darkseid possessed Booster Gold. And that fight does take a bit of a turn in this one as well, just like you said a minute ago. So, just another fun all-fight month book. There's going to be 8. This is the 3rd one, and I can't wait to read the next ones because they've all been great.
Next is Cyborg Swamp Thing.
That's right.
And that's in Titans.
Yes,
that's in an issue of Titans. So
yeah, I think there's a preview in here of the the Red Hood versus Joker.
Yeah,
I think that's the last one though.
That's
round 8. So.
And I think because that's going to be a very big, emotional, over the top fight.
Yeah. But I love this one as well. I've been loving all these all fight month books. I'm definitely gonna get all fight months. Yeah. So there's your A cover right there, and then we have.
I always love Mortal Kombat, but all fight monks.
Yeah, right. So this is an Eddie Barrows cover right there. We have this,
nice.
Dan Panosian.
I think maybe that's the one I got.
And we have a. This is Joelle Jones. Yeah, I love her artwork. So great variants.
It's a lot grittier for Joelle Jones too.
Yeah.
As opposed to like some of her Catwoman stuff.
Yeah.
Well, next up, moving over to the Marvel side, we've got Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 23. This is the penultimate issue of arguably the biggest Marvel comic coming out. I
think so.
I think that could be easily argued. So
if it's not this, it's probably the Ultimates. So one of them.
So this is by Jonathan Hickman, of course, and you have art in here by Marco Cicchetto and David Messina. So both of them who've been going back and forth and now are coming together for this. This does feel like that it is a culmination of all the pieces and parts that have been laid for 22 issues before here, all coming together for this. So we have all the different pieces come into play here. We have the story with Ben and Jonah, and they are doing something very similar to what Tony Stark did in Ultimates, and they are releasing a video, an expose on Kingpin that is going to change the way the city looks at Kingpin. But in doing
I guess theirs is more like on a local scale, whereas Tony Stark was broadcasting to the world.
Or people being like, why does my phone keep doing this? Like,
this is the second time now that I've gotten.
Is there a setting I can turn off to not get these notifications? But of course, that's a big thing because once you do that, there's no going back. Mm-hmm. Kingpin is targeting everyone. We also have Richard and Black Cat who are trying to break into Wilson Fisk's building to install a device that Otto built last issue that, these are all like kind of in-game plans to take down Kingpin and do all this. Harry and Mysterio launched their attack on Fisk that is... Was it the end of the last issue we saw the Mysterio blob?
Yeah, the weird...
Where all 5 members combined to make a really weird thing. That's played in here, and it's just as weird.
Yeah, it's weird. No explanation for it.
No, I don't know if we'll ever get an explanation for what actually Mysterio is all about in this world. And the big thing is Peter Parker, Spider-Man, once he learns that Richard is out there doing all this, he's had enough. He's finally ready to take the fight straight to Kingpin again for kind of a round 2 because he got his butt handed to him way back in the early issues. And We get some Spider-Man action in this.
Yeah, finally, Spider-Man is actually in Ultimate Spider-Man, and he's fighting.
Yeah,
and it's not just in one panel. Like it's actually several pages. A big knockdown drag out fight with Kingpin, with Mister Negative.
yeah,
Whereas everybody else is like trying to go through like sneak into Fist Tower or do this. Spider-Man just smashed through the window. He's
Yeah.
like, let's go right now. So finally, at long last, Spider-Man is after 2 years.
yeah.
Spider-Man is in Ultimate Spider-Man. That's all. That's amazing.
And I feel like the next issue, I mean, the last issue, but it's going to be really big
Yeah.
because where this one ends, it's like you can tell we're leading to a finale.
Yeah, literally every character who's been doing something in this series, it literally is like all coming to a head. It's all going to explode next issue. Like this is exactly what I wanted Ultimate Spider-Man to be for the whole series.
Yeah.
It took us the entire run to get there, but it's here now, I guess. But
Yeah, so this was a lot of fun. If you've been reading, of course, you're going to pick up this one as the series almost is wrapped up, and we'll be talking about Ultimate Endgame in the next few weeks, which is, I'm really interested because we don't have a lot of info about like what's inside the book, like how all of that's going to be orchestrated. So, I'll be interested to see how this ends and how it leads into that. Who is going to be part of it? Yeah. So, right here at the end of Ultimate Spider-Man with issue 23, that's your A cover. We have a Vincentini cover.
that's real nice. I think I may have ordered that one.
That's
great.
cool. And we have a 1 in 25 Mark Bagley cover selling for $14.99.
All right, I've got a new Marvel book to talk about. This is the End 2099 #1. This is written by Steve Orlando, and the art is by Ibrahim Roberson. And this is kind of the next chapter in the 2099 saga that Marvel's been putting out over the last few years with Annihilation 2099 and Conquest 2099.
I mean, it's been years.
Yeah, I don't even remember what came before that, but there's been a lot of little 2099 miniseries that sort of follow each other, and this is the next one. And I didn't read Conquest 2099, so I don't really know the details. But Galactus has been nullified, I guess, and now calls himself Abyssus. And he is destroying all these planets, as Galactus does, but this time he's also taking the souls of everyone on that planet as he destroys them. And Mephisto is not happy about that at all. Mephisto says, hey, those souls are mine. And so he challenges Abyssus to a contest of heroes. So basically, like, we've seen this before in Marvel where two giant cosmic beings challenge each other, but they're not going to fight them. They're not going to fight each other. They're going to each call their own team of heroes to go fight each other, and that happens in here. And in this one, Mephisto chooses the heroes from 2099. So we get Spider-Man, we get Hulk 2099, all the 2099 heroes we've seen over the last several years.
Kind of the ones that they've been building too, like Nova 2099.
Nova and Star-Lord and all the 2099 heroes. And Abyssus chooses heroes from different points in times and realities. And some of you'll recognize a lot of them, and that's why this cover shows like John Byrne era Cyclops, but also Age of Apocalypse Wolverine and Jean Grey, and so. Also, the big thing about this issue is it's the first appearance of Spider-Man 3099. It's not till the end, so we don't know what his deal is. I don't even know if he was summoned by one of these guys or if he popped up for some other reason. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so Spider-Man 3099 is going to get in the mix with all these other heroes fighting each other. And if I'm being honest, it's probably going to become just a typical Marvel heroes versus heroes story. But I don't know, how it'll end. So,
is this weekly? Because I know the previous series were weekly series.
Let me look. What is this? The End. So this came out December 10th. No, it looks like it's monthly. Yep. So, So if you've been reading all the other 2099 miniseries, then check this one out as well. Or if you're interested in Spider-Man 3099, check this out. So there's our A cover right there.
But you don't get any answers about him.
No, you see him at the last second. So maybe number 2 will be where we really meet him. This is the Dolato variant with Spider-Man 2099. And we have this Sakura variant with Spider-Man 2099 and 3099. And this is the Edwin Gallman 1 in 25 variant that were selling for $24.99 with Abyssus barfing all over a planet.
Next up, we got an indie book this week, a little thing you may never heard of called The Darkness #1. So the top cow, the Ying to Witchblade's Yang,
Yeah.
is back in comics with his own new series written by creator Mark Silvestri. So talk about feeling like the original Darkness.
Mhm.
This is right there. The pencils for this issue is by Ed Benez. Phenomenal art in
Yeah.
this. I mean, it's every bit as cool as like the 90s style for the Darkness, but modernized a little bit more.
Yeah.
It feels epic. And going into it, there's not a whole lot to say because this is a new starting point.
Yeah,
This
it's a
is-
full-on reboot, just the way they rebooted Witchblade last year.
Yes.
But just like that series, this is really good. Like they did a great job rebooting.
They did a great job, and it feels so similar, just a little bit more modernized.
Right.
Modernized storytelling and setting, all
Yeah.
of that.
Like if I had never read any comics since the 90s, and then you told me that this was from the 90s, I would have believed you. Because
Yeah.
this feels like it came straight out of 1995 or something.
Yeah, so you've got Jackie
Estacado?
Estacado. I don't know why I can't say Estacado. Who is back. We get some of his origin, him growing up. He was kind of picked on in school, kind of had to learn to defend himself. He only had like one friend in school, which does play a part later. But then he's pulled out of school to go into the family business, and he becomes basically an enforcer for a mob family. And that's where most of this takes place, is you kind of see his dealings and his life and kind of how brutal he is. But you get a little sympathy for him. But that all changes one day when he gets infected with the Darkness and starts a battle between the Darkness and essentially heaven. This kicks in like, this is an extra size issue, but
Yeah.
there's plenty of action in this and cool stuff and characters. If you've never read The Darkness before, this is a perfect place to jump on. Everything's explained here. There's a fun guest star in this one that I'm really interested to see how they play into it going forward. But yeah, not a whole lot to say other than check it out because it is a great new start for a Darkness series.
It's not wildly different. It's not like how wildly different Absolute Batman is to regular. It's the Dark. It's all it is. But yeah, like you said, it's a modernized reboot. It's great.
Yeah,
like I loved it.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I'm here for the long haul for this one because I think Raymond Gay is going to be the ongoing artist of that
Starting next
issue. But I'm seeing his covers and stuff. He looks fantastic, and it's just nice every once in a while to get some of that kind of '90s comic image flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, again, what era are we in? We had a Youngblood #1, a Darkness #1,
Witchblade still going strong. Yeah.
So there you go. Check it out. Like I said, it's an extra size issue. There's some cool Mark Silvestri designs in the back.
Yeah.
So some cool back matter in it as well, and it's still only $4.99. So issue #1, Darkness. There is your A cover by Mark Silvestri. We also have a B cover by Ed Benez. That's your interior artist. We have a David Mack cover, which you will learn more about that character in the book. We also have a 1 in 10 Ed Benez Virgin cover for $6.99. And a 1 in 25 David Mack Virgin cover for $11.99.
Next up, I've got Infernal Hulk #2. #1 just came out 2 weeks ago, and I was thinking, hey, awesome. Maybe this is going to be a bi-weekly book like Amazing Spider-Man. #3 doesn't come out for 6 more weeks. So I don't know why they didn't quite maybe spread it out a little bit more. But I'm glad that this is here now. So obviously this is from Philip Kennedy Johnson, and the art is by Nick Klein, and also Kev Walker does a couple pages at the end. And I'll be honest, I still have no idea what's going on because I never finished the previous Incredible Hulk run. But I'm still really enjoying this book. I'm having a ton of fun with it. And so I guess the Hulk, who isn't really the Hulk anymore, he's trying to wake up a bunch of monsters to join his big monster army. And in this issue, he wakes up a giant sea monster named Negathol, and he has to journey deep into the ocean to do that. But nothing big happens in the ocean without Namor knowing about it. So Namor gets involved, but quickly finds out that he's way outmatched between this version of the Hulk and Negathil. They're both like crazy more powerful than Namor is. And you know, most of this issue is the Hulk fighting Negathil, which is like this big, I mean, it's like this big like serpent looking creature in the ocean, because Negathil says, "Hey, I'm the strongest monster.
Can he
I should
talk?
be yeah."
Oh, okay.
And the way, and it's, he doesn't use word balloons though, because he has such like a large booming voice. It's like actual like letters like spread over, kind of like a Daniel Warren Johnson would
Yeah.
do. So it's not just like little word balloons, which makes it feel even more epic in scope. And Negathil thinks that he's the strongest and that he should be in charge of the monsters. And Hulk shows him why, and that's not necessarily true. And yeah, so it's just another big fight, just like the first issue was. The artwork is amazing. Some of Nick Klein's best. I think that by the time like Nick Klein is done with his run, with his tenure on Hulk, however long that may be, I think he'll definitely be in the conversation as one of the best Hulk
Yeah.
artists ever, because it just looks so good. So yeah, just the first issue was great. The second issue is amazing. Lots of great action, awesome artwork. So I'm, even though I don't quite know what's going on, I'm trying to go back and find time to catch up, but I'm still going to keep reading because it's awesome. So there's our A cover right there. And we have this Lionel Francis Yu nullified variant. That seems too unfair to have the Infernal Hulk also nullified. And then we have this Andrea, shoot, I don't have the, is that Sorrentino?
Kind of looks like Sorrentino.
Yeah, I think it's on Sorrentino. 1 in 25 that we're selling for $19.99.
Well, next up, I have a really cool beginning of a new indie series. This is Ordained #1 from Bad Idea. And this is by Robert Venditti, and the art is by Trevor Hairsine. And you've probably heard us, I mean, we talked about this a couple of times, and it's been kind of in the news because it's already been optioned for, I believe, a TV series with Colin Farrell as our main character.
This is going to make a great TV show, or if it's
Yes.
a movie, whichever one, it's going to make a cool live action thing.
Yeah, so in this we meet Reverend, or the priest is Royston Craig, and we get to know him a little bit, and it's not like a lot of things where it's like, oh, he's a priest, but secretly he's a bad guy. It's like, no,
Yeah.
he went the other way. He went from being, he has a past, but now he is really devoted to the church and his life, taking care of the neighborhood that he lives in, and the people all around town know him. They call him by his name, and it's a really nice community type thing. And he's got, of course, as a priest job, he gets called in to do the last rites on someone. And he heads to the hospital, and there's security there to let him in. And they question, like, do you not know who this is that you're going to see? And he's like, no, I don't really keep up with the news or anything. And then he finds out that he's going to do the last rites for a notorious mob boss, kingpin, essentially, who is dying in the bed. And he's got to do his last confessional and spills his guts to the priest.
It tells him everything. Like there's like two-page spreads or one where he's just like, and I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and yeah, he's
And the priest even is kind of like halfway through. He's like, I don't know if I should be doing this, and the guy's like, what does it matter? This is your job, and I'm about to die anyways. But after he finishes, the next day, the man has a full recovery. This isn't a spoiler or anything, because
no,
this
it's not
is all
spoiler,
the solicitation.
This is literally what the story is about.
Yeah. And remembers, I just confessed everything to this priest. We need to go stop him, and he sends people after the priest. But there's the little catch that maybe the priest is an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yep.
So that is your setup for the book. There is action in this. But I don't know, this feels like a really cool, like, HBO style drama, action drama type thing.
It also kind of feels like Daredevil with a priest taking on a kingpin of crime.
Yes.
He just needs like a red costume and to be blind, I guess.
Yeah, he's got that classic, like, I left that life behind,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now I gotta dig back into those old
Just
skills
when
I had.
I thought I could get out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot to say about this because essentially what was in the solicitation for it
Yeah.
is issue 1.
Yeah, it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Like,
But
it's
it's
a cool
really
premise.
well
Yeah.
done. It's very well told. The art is great. You care about this character.
Yep.
And I am really looking forward to what's going to happen going forward because that's the part I don't know.
Yeah.
So this was a great issue. Ordained #1. I just felt it too. It's like on kind of almost like newsprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first time I read it was digital, and then feeling this way, I was like, oh, this is also really cool. It just feels like a comic.
Mm-hmm.
So don't miss out on Ordained #1, and this is the only cover I have to show.
Next, we have got our next batch of Age of Revelation books, and there's 4 of them this week. We're going to start with Longshots #3. All of these are #3 issues, which means they're the end of all of these series. And I, I didn't understand anything in this issue. This was by far, if I could take my retailer hat off for a second and put on my comic fan hat, I didn't like this at all. I didn't understand what happened in this issue. I didn't understand what the point of this series was. And I'm not sad that it's over.
Does it tie? What level of tie does it have to the Age of Revelation event?
Less than none.
Mm.
There's no connection to anything that happens in the main Age of Revelation story at all. So yeah, honestly, I don't have anything to say about it because I didn't understand it, didn't care for it. Glad it's over.
But some people may.
Some people may like it. If you like it, actually, and I always look on League of Comic Geeks, like in the discussion tab, to see like, am I the only one who feels this way? And there's a lot of people who are like, yes, I love Mojo, and I love Mojo too, but this just didn't make sense. But there are people who like it. So if you like this, I love that you do. I have, I'm fine that you do. It just didn't work for me at all, and it's over now. So that's it. So this is our A cover right here. And we have this nice Mark Bagley cover with Wonder Man. I like that.
That's the thing with these. What's good is they're 3 issues.
3 issues, yeah.
And there is a wide variety.
Yeah.
Like Iron and Frost #3, the final part of this issue, which what I do really like about this book is it picks up on a lot of those story points from the previous Iron Man run. I guess now 2 previous Iron Man runs ago.
The Jerry Duggan run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Emma Frost. Because I really like their relationship. But we've learned in this that because of the X virus and all that, Iron Man has went fully almost like evil Tin Man.
Yeah, he's not just like, I thought the armor originally was just like fused to him. No, he's like a full-on machine now.
Yeah, it's a weird mutation to go completely machine, and he's got kind of a very like algorithmic programming personality that is very black or white, good or bad type thing, and pretty much in this issue is Emma Frost fighting against, I guess, no longer Tony Stark. This is the Iron King.
Yeah.
And trying to keep him from exploding and destroying a significant amount of the territories. But there's more to him than the arc reactor powering him. And she's going to try her best to find the last spark of Tony Stark in this Iron King. Now, is she successful? You'll have to read to find out. So there's help from another character that we've seen. And does this have a big impact on the Age of Revelation stuff? Not really.
There's something at the very, very, very end that I feel like could have an impact on the main story, but I feel like they won't ever come back to it.
Yeah, it feels like, of course they work really close to the editors. I feel like it's something the writer in this is Cavan Scott that like included, and it was like, this is a little seed for me if I want to do something.
Yeah, like the way it ends, I feel like you can almost say, oh, that's how they win this whole event.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we'll just never hear about it again.
Yeah.
Ever. Or like you said, maybe in a new run or something.
Yeah,
but not for this event.
This was really interesting. I'd say this is a pretty good 3-issue run. And I won't give it away. There is a theme to these books this week.
Yeah.
that
They don't all have happy endings.
they don't all have happy
Yeah.
endings. So, yep, if you've been reading it, check out issue number 3, Iron and Frost. That is your A cover. There is a Mark Bagley cover. It's a great homage to, and that is it.
All right, well, I've got another one, Unbreakable X-Men number 3. I didn't really understand this one either. I haven't understood.
Do you understand comics?
I've read them before. I just this is very heavily. This whole series has been very heavily connected to Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men, which I stopped reading after a while because I wasn't super high on it. This issue, most of it is spent in the ocean. Gambit is fighting Namor for some reason, and the other kids, the Outliers, they're fighting Shavaric, who I still don't really know who that is. And then the end of that battle just kind of comes out of nowhere. Feels a little bit too convenient. And this one doesn't have a sad ending like some of the other ones does. So, but yeah, so I don't really know what to tell you. This one has almost no connection to the Age of Revelation event either. So if you are going to read the event later and just want to, pick out the core stuff, you don't have to read this one. If you are a fan of Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men, I do recommend this because you'll probably like this as well. But this one just wasn't for me either, but it's over now. So this is the only cover I've got.
I've got one that I've enjoyed all of it so far. This is Sinister 6, and this is no exception. This was a great issue of a book that, going into it, I, didn't have really any expectation of this book, but it's turned out to be awesome. So
and just to prove I'm not a negative Nancy, I did very much enjoy this whole thing too.
So at the end of the last issue, we saw Havoc and his team, this Sinister 6, come face to face with Revelation, some of his Seraphim. And this is their final confrontation, and it is a pretty big one. I love any of the books that actually bring Doug Ramsey Revelation into the book.
Yeah.
Because it feels like this was important enough for him to leave his place and go and confront them. So there's not a whole lot I can say about this issue because there is quite a bit that happens with the characters. I mean, of course, you've got a big team of characters. Not everyone is going to make it out unscathed or at all, but you see on the cover here with Venom, there is something big that happens in here. We learn the identity of who is in the Venom symbiote. And is it Eddie Brock? Is it somebody else? You have to read it to find out. This has if we're talking about endings and how they are, a happy and sad ending.
Yep.
And I thought it was really cool. And I just really like this book. I loved Havoc being kind of the main character in this. I love Havoc as a character in general. I think, this little mystery about Venom and them recovering him and then who is behind it, all really cool. How much does this play into, the overall story? It does have beats of the main Age of Revelation story.
Yeah.
Does it change how the outcome's going to be? Probably not. But I still recommend this one. I think this was a really fun series, and I like this team of characters.
Yep.
And, this is one I'm sad to see end. So we've got our A cover right here. And we've got this really nice Netho Diaz cover.
All right, we're going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man number 17. This is an odd-numbered issue, which means that it is one of the Spider-Man in space stories. And in this one, the ship that Spider-Man and the others that they've been traveling on, well, it crash lands on an unknown planet. So while Rocket and the others are trying to fix it, Spider-Man and Raylith, who is the yellow skin girl, I finally remember her name. They go exploring their surroundings, and they're attacked by these weird creatures. Like basically, this cover happens. This exactly happens in the book, and they're attacked by these weird looking alien creatures.
They almost give me vibes like the Brood, or something, kind of like non-sentient little monsters.
Yep. But that attack is not random though. They're kind of being controlled by someone called Nicodemu of the Pinnacle, who has a connection to Hellgate, which is
They're really starting to pull the story.
They're starting to bring that together now. And that being also has some kind of connection to Raylith, and renders her immobile out of fear. Like just the fact that it even shows up in its astral form, she just like goes into the fetal position almost. And Spider-Man's like, come on, man, what are you doing? And so Spider-Man protects her by fighting these things. And it's kind of hard to explain. It'll make a little bit more sense when you read it, although I found this still a little bit confusing though, because I guess we'll maybe learn more about it because there's that connection to Hellgate, but it was nice that they mentioned Hellgate again because the whole point of him being in space was he's supposed to be training to get. He's going through his training arc, right? He's trying to get stronger so that he can take on Hellgate when he gets back to Earth. So
it was weird because there's also a part where they're about to explain everything,
yeah,
and it gets interrupted, and then we never go back to the full explanation of what everything is. So it's like you get just the beginning of it.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see. I don't think Spider-Man gets home to Earth until February. I don't know what issue it is, but so we've got a few more issues of him in space, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I wouldn't mind if this were like a year-long thing. But yeah, so maybe they're going to start pushing that Hellgate story forward now and making this trip to space focus on that. I'm not sure, but I still liked it though. Pepe Larraz's back on art. It looks great. Lots of action.
Really fun in
Rocket's
this.
fun. We learned why their spaceship crashed, and that's a cool little moment too. So yeah, I'm digging this a lot. I'm digging this space. I actually
really like this team.
Yes,
this weird little team of not Guardians of the Galaxy, but kind of close.
Make this the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm fine with it. Yeah, and keep Spider-Man there. I'm fine with it. I'm having a good time with this. So there's our A cover right there, and we have this nice Lee Bermejo variant. And we have this 1 in 25 Terry Dodson variant that we're selling for $14.99.
Well, back to the Ultimate Universe, we have Ultimate Wolverine number 12. This was originally where the series was supposed to end. You can definitely feel that in here. It does have a pretty, it's basically like we wrapped up what this series was about. Now Wolverine's going into Ultimate Endgame next. But for this one, it actually does kind of have a nice resolution to the arc that Wolverine's been going on. So in this, Wolverine is launching his solo attack on the Eurasian Republic HQ, which is also where like Magic and Colossus, I guess their headquarters.
Yeah.
And Wolverine is also going there to rescue someone he's maybe heard their voice in his head and was part of him breaking out of the Control, the Winter Soldier program. And it's really cool. There is quite a bit of action in this, and I will say a somewhat significant thing happens that is going to, mean that the big fight in Ultimate Endgame may be down a member.
Yep.
So pretty interesting here. I almost wished, like, when I got to the end of this, when Wolverine goes off, I'm like, I kind of wish this would continue with the story point that happens in this.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, oh, you could go on to do something else.
Yeah, there's more story to tell.
There is more story to tell.
I don't think we'll get it because I think this ends with number 14.
I thought 16.
Okay, that might be, but I think all the rest of the issues deal with Ultimate Endgame.
Right.
So.
But there might be a new player entering the field with Wolverine that's going to be a heavy hitter.
If that pays off, yes. I hope it does pay off. We'll see.
But I thought this was great, and for what was initially supposed to be a 12-issue run, I think it is super solid, and I am looking forward to the next issues to really see what role this Ultimate Wolverine plays in the final fight, because he's the one who's had the longest mini-series by himself. I feel like he's not going to be insignificant going forward. So there is your A cover. We also have a 1 in 25 Matteo De La Fonte cover. And not in the snow, but there's a fight there.
Yeah.
And we're selling down for $19.99.
It'd be cool if it was in the snow.
It would be cool if it was in the snow.
I like the snow. Okay, I have got a Nova Centurion number 2. I think this may have come out just a couple weeks ago as well. But in this one, Nova, well, we saw it last issue. Nova is working for this intergalactic crime syndicate. And he's looking for the thief who's responsible for stealing Mysterium from them. And he doesn't really, this was all in last issue. He doesn't really want to take on this job until he learns that the suspect is Ravenous, who is who was responsible for the Nova Corps back in the Annihilation event. So, like I said, with the issue number 1, this has a lot of ties to the original Annihilation event. So it's kind of cool to see all that come back. And actually, most of this issue is this right here, Nova fighting Ravenous. But he has to be careful because when he expels energy, it costs. The world mind only has so much energy that he can use before he just taps out and the world mind dies basically. So he has to be careful with how he fights. But Ravenous is so powerful. Like, what else can he do? So, but yeah, so it's a big fight between these two characters. But and Nova does do something in this that I'm very happy about, and it doesn't involve fighting. But you'll see what I mean when you read it. But yeah, another cool issue of Nova. Can't wait to see where this goes. This is our A cover, and we have this cola variant.
Well, next up, I have Transformers issue number 27. This is, now Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora's book. And I do feel like Kirkman is kind of building what his series is going to be.
Yeah.
So this isn't a super action-packed issue. This is still setup. It's fun setup, but it's pieces falling into place and who are going to be our main characters in this. So the Autobots continue to repair themselves, and we find out maybe some can't be repaired. There's only so much they can do, but I feel like every issue we're getting a couple more entering the scene that are really fun, and there's a few in here that I was happy to see.
Turns out if you take a laser blast directly to the face, maybe it's harder to repair you than some of the others.
Not looking at any specific ones from like the first issue. Also, the Optimus helps Thundercracker, which is cool, who has kind of deserted the Decepticons and has a really cool conversation with them about, like, there is a purpose to, what the Decepticons were doing and what the Autobots are doing, but we're on Earth now.
Yeah.
And there's, things have to change. And Thundercracker the whole time is like, I believed in what we were doing, but not the joy that I see some of the Decepticons having in it. And, that's like his angle coming at it. So I think that storyline is going to be really interesting going forward. Ultra Magnus is in this quite a bit, which I love. I love Ultra Magnus. And he is questioning after all that he's been through. The first time we saw him in this Energon universe, he was just pieces.
Yeah.
He is questioning whether he even belongs there. And if his...
I don't love Ultra Magnus so much. Even as a kid in the Transformers movie and after that, I always thought he was a little bit of a crybaby. Like, I don't know if I'm worthy. I don't belong here. But shut up, man. You're one of the most powerful.
I know. I just think, in the movie, he was maybe more worthy to become Prime than Hot Rod. But
oh, for sure, yeah.
But he got passed up. Be a little upset too.
Yeah.
But
it always bothered me as a kid. I was like, no, wait, I like Hot Rod. And Ultra Magnus seems more like a leader, but he's already,
Yeah. I don't know. I just think he's cool and big.
Yeah, right.
But he's also, he has a moment with General Flag in this that is really interesting. And actually, I was like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Plus, someone's favorite, Miles Mayhem, plays a pretty significant role and definitely alludes to some stuff.
Yeah, there's a bit in here with Miles Mayhem that nobody except for old guys like me will be excited about.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's my favorite part. I can't wait to see that subplot go somewhere.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff that goes in here. Also, another one of my favorite Transformers shows up right at the very end. That I'm interested to see how they're going to play a part in.
Right, yeah.
So just a great issue of Transformers. It continues to be great. Dan Mora's art, fantastic. He's great also at drawing Transformers. So another reason to hate him, because he's good at drawing everything. So we've got our A cover right here. Although Soundwave on the cover does not appear in this issue.
Nope, nowhere.
I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler cover, but not too bad. 1 in 25. This is your Felici cover with Thundercracker.
Just covers wings.
Yep. It's indecent. And we were selling this one for $14.99. And then we have a 1 in 50 Dan Mora. It's kind of like the concept art covers, or almost like trading card covers. We're selling for $24.99. Again, with Soundwave, who's not in this issue.
All right, so I have got Marvel Knights the Punisher number 3. And General not General Ross. That's a different Ross. Everett Ross is undercover at Malero's compound, and he's trying to find a way to get through to Frank, who is still under the influence of the Z drug. And he's under the control. He's basically at the whim of Malero, the crime boss. And Ross is trying to get the Punisher out of there, and he does get help doing that from an unexpected ally. I don't really want to tell you what happens, but there's actually a pretty shocking moment in here, and I was wondering if we would see this, if this would happen, and it's all leading to what I'm sure will be a bloody finale next issue. I think the next issue is the last one. I'm not 100% sure, but things are going to get real bloody real fast. And this still doesn't tie into the main The World to Come book at all. And I don't think it's going to, but it's still just cool to see. Like, this is just another really good. This doesn't really need the Marvel Knights thing or the World to Come. This is just a really solid Punisher book. Like, if you just want to read, if you're a Punisher fan, you just want to read a cool Punisher story, you can read this without having to have read anything else. And you'll get a really cool, in this one, a really like crazy Punisher story. So there is your A cover right here, and I have this Rod Rice variant. And I really like this one. This is the 1 in 25 Yasmin Putri variant that we're selling for $24.99.
And I just want to briefly mention, I did not get a chance to read this. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 13. This is with your brand new creative team of Gene Luen Yang and Freddie Williams II, who does a lot of the Masters Universe and Thundercats crossovers and all that. So it looks fantastic. But yeah, I'm guessing this is probably going to be a decent jumping on point if you haven't been reading it with a new writer and new artist on here. But wanted to mention this is coming out, and especially because there is a new blind bag. But this one's cool because it's cover price. It's $4.99.
Okay.
And yeah, I haven't even seen the full extent of covers you can get, but I'm very interested to see what people get out of this one. So while supplies last, pick up your Ninja Turtles blind bag.
I've got one more book to talk about real quick. This is Our Soot-Stained Heart #1. This is from Mad Cave. This is from Joni Hag and Stipan Morian are your writers, and then Stipan or Stipan Morian is the artist. And this book is interesting. It's a little bit confusing. There is this city called the Coalition in the middle of uninhabitable frostlands in the north. And coal there is very valuable. But to get coal, you essentially have to be bad. And the worse you are, the more coal you get. And then there's this girl here named Peggy Stone. She has trouble being bad, and thus she never really has much or any coal at all. And the town is run by this evil, Governor Glass, and he almost looks like an evil, snow wizard. He's all blue with, hair coming out like this. And it seems like there's this, rebellion that's building against him, and Peggy gets swept up in it. I would need to go back again and read it to fully understand exactly all the nuances to that. But that's the overall gist of this story. It has a very, it doesn't mention Christmas. I think there's a day called Fuel's Day or something like that. But it does have a very Christmas holiday feel to it. But with a little bit of darkness there as well. So if you like that kind of stuff, then yeah, check this one out. Our Soot-Stained Heart #1. And this is the only cover I've got. Is there any more that you want to talk about?
Nope, I think that's it.
I had a few that I just wanted to run through just to let you know that they're coming out this week. We have EC's Shiver Suspense Stories #1. I believe this is a one-shot, and just like a lot of the other EC books, just a few short one-and-done stories that are Christmas or Hanukkah themed, but also horror. Nice. This is really fun. I recommend this. I like those kinds of books. We have all new Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider #5, which is the end of this first story arc. We also have New Avengers #7. The New Avengers are still dealing with the Killuminati. We have Spider-Man of Wolverine #8. Still just a really fun book. Lots of action, great artwork. And Spider-Man and Wolverine are fighting arachnids there. And then last is Ultimate Black Panther #23. This is the next to last issue of this series. I didn't understand this one either, but it's there if you want it.
Well, that is it. Like we said, it was an interesting week of books. Definitely coming in strong with Absolute Batman, but there's a lot of also other really cool books. So head on over to infinityflux.net right now and order them while supplies last, especially Absolute Batman, its variants. The blind bags for Ninja Turtles, Ordained, stuff like that is going to go fast. And these, so pick those up at infinityflux.net, or if you shop in the store, or if you shop your local comic book store, all those are great options. So join us next time on Wednesday for our comics to pre-order in a flash. Is that our live video?
It's supposed to be. Are we gonna turn that into our?
Well, we'll see. There might be something special coming up.
There might be a special theme to the live show this coming Wednesday. Maybe
it may be holly and jolly.
Yep.
So there's that. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And until next time, I'm gonna take a nap. Bye.